Hello comrades, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, the quest for the final frontier. I'm Commie Fritz the Great, and boy, it is good to be back. You join me once again in Kerbal Space Program point 23.5. So let's dive straight in, and I will brief you on a new mission. So, at the end of Season 1, we went and returned from a successful mission, excuse me, from the, in which we attempted to land and return, from Duna and Ike, the third moon, the third planet, and moon of the third planet, out from, the sun Kerbal, with the space tug design system. And, yeah, all was hunky-dory. We completed the mission with gusto, and all was good indeed. But now it is time for a new mission. You see, point 23.5 was the queue for the new NASA Mission Pack add-on, the Asteroid Redirect System. The idea being that you'd build a rocket using the new NASA parts, and then kind of grab an asteroid and bring it back. Now, the parts that were developed with Squad in conjunction with NASA are based on the SLS launch system, the Space Launch System, that was going to ferry the original Orion spacecraft out to the moon and do the rest of its job. Unfortunately, that project's been set back due to unfathomable debts by the US government. So, I think a Kerbal Space Program simulation is going to have to suffice for now. So here we are, the Trotsky Turvey 250, with a new kind of grapply claw device on top, which I'm going to use to grab the asteroid. I'm highlighting it now. So yeah, it works like a docking port. And the first thing you'll notice is, actually, if I called it the topsy-turvy by accident, so if I just change it around. Yeah, so it's a very kind of generic spacecraft design in most ways. So we have our 4 engines, RCS, propellant tanks underneath those external fuel tanks. And the first thing you'll notice is that the lander can, well, yeah, the lander can is upside down. Yeah, so our pilots are going to sit upside down on the launch pad. The idea being that as you approach the asteroid, I can dock from the cockpit view, so I can look down. You can see that the plexiglass canopy on the lander can obviously pointing the wrong way, so that curved bit where it curves in is where the pilot's feet would be. So we can look down at the claw device and have quite a large kind of scope in terms of vision. Sorry, I must apologise, I've come down with a kind of hay fever affliction, which has kept me out of action for a few weeks. So I did try recording on Sunday. Unfortunately, this is the footage that I recorded with, and unfortunately, it sounded quite bad. So up until a later part of this video, it's all going to be in post commentary. But anyway, yeah, what was I saying? Actually, I forgot the mystery U canister. Oh no, I do have one there. That's good. Right, so yeah, I was just making sure that I had all of the power facilities available. The next job that I had to do, therefore, was build the actual boost and transfer stage in conjunction. So coming up now is a fast forward sequence in which I construct that, and then I will be recording a live commentary, and we can then go straight ahead and launch and see what the hell happens. But in the meantime, that is indeed my spiel over. That's it from me, and I will see you on the other side. Hello comrades, I'm back for reals, lols, as some of the 13-year-old female organisms in the audience might say. But anyway, here it is, the biggest rocket that I've built in Kerbal Space Program so far. The Trotsky Turvy 250 is ready for liftoff. And, oh, bugger it. That's really awkward, I forgot to throttle up, and are we going to clear the tower? It's close. There was a bit of graunching as we pulled away there, but we are safely underway. Our two pilots, Newly, our hero on the Juno mission, and Bob Kerbin. Sadly, Bill and Jebediah are currently incapacitated on other certain engagements. Yeah, I ran out of fuel trying to get them to the moon in the first part of our career mode series, which I didn't actually show you. I should have encompassed that in the 2-minute Ride of the Valkyries montage that I created. But yes, the first thing you'll notice is that I'm not fast forwarding this wow, we're upside down. Is that I'm not fast forwarding this launch, and that's because Squad, brilliant, the best Mexicans in the world. That's a new thing, like the best Mexicans ever. When have you ever said that? Have implemented a new kind of Unity engine whereby you can build massive, big-ass rockets and send them into space without any kind of lag whatsoever. So that's always rather convenient, and unfortunately I seem to be getting a tiny bit of roll or yaw or pitch or whatever you call it going on here. That's really not normal. Hoping therefore that it will sort itself out as we move into the higher reaches of Kerbin's atmosphere. And there's nothing really more to say. It's a pretty bog standard launch, and those first two rockets have run out. Oh, it's all gone horribly wrong. Oh my god. The mainsail engine has detached. One's gone down, one's gone up, and poo just shot out. We are running on 5 engines. I'm not too sure what went wrong. God, look at that booster flying off there. And I've just gone to hit the spacebar and staged again. That was stupid. Look at it go. It's just blowing up. This is the first proper launch for it. And whoa. Personal space. I don't know if you saw that, but a mainsail engine actually glanced off the perspex screen of our lander cam there. And we're running now on 2 engines. I may as well just ditch this rocket now. And we can just bring our guys home safely. What I really should do is incorporate a launch escape system like the original rockets the 60s had. Basically a massive solid rocket booster on the nose cone would fire if anything went Tong, like it does now. So I'm just kind of being stupid and firing up that skipper engine for the transfer stage. And that didn't look good. We've lurched into quite a sickening roll, and my camera's all gone messed up. Where are we? Okay, there's the top of the lander cam. Can we just zoom out and then turn around? There we go. And that's brilliant. That's literally what's left of our rocket, with the remnants flying off in every single conceivable direction at the same time. Yeah. Well, this is turning out to be interesting. This is a scrubbed launch, officially, in the NASA dictionary. And, wow. I have to say that this rocket performed pretty well for a first attempt. I mean, this was just going to be a test flight, because we actually have to find the asteroid before we do anything else. I wonder if we can beat the skipper engine down. That will be quite funny. I can see the S vapor trails of that mainsail still going. And it's all of a sudden become oddly serene. So I guess we can just drift down to safety now. Not very far to go. Pointing straight up, apparently. And, oh crap, I've just realised that I've forgotten something rather important. That's what they were called. Parachutes. Yeah, incompetence has and will doom Kerbin and indeed the rest of humanity as we know it. Back to the drawing board. Okay, well, after that catastrophic, unprecedented failure, I went around checking the configuration of the fuel lines, and I realised that I think I'd misplaced one of them. One of them had gone to the wrong tank. Even though it had gone to the central stack, it had gone to the next tank up. But I sorted that out, and hopefully, staging wise, we should be good to go. Yeah, I'm just checking once more that the decouplers are all going to fire at the right moment. We wouldn't want anything like that to happen again, would we? Yeah, I think some of you are getting the impression that my rockets do seem to be made in Taiwan. God, why is everything made in Taiwan nowadays? Totally ridiculous. Anyway, that's not a concern of ours, because we live on the planet Kerbin, for the moment, or at least for the next 5 minutes. yeah, we needed parachutes, didn't we? So if I go to the Utilities tab, and if it will let me select it, computer says no. The joys of information computing technology. These machines do everything you don't want them to do. Very annoying. But the modern age is built around them, so I guess we can't complain. Yeah, so parachutes on each of the external engine nacelles. And I should probably put them on here too, just in case. Yeah, the rocket's looking quite good actually. Much more efficient than I would have at first imagined. I don't know how long this transfer stage is going to last. I mean, hopefully it should get us into a good position to be able to rendezvous with the asteroid. I certainly hope it does, because this rocket seems quite efficient. The asparagus staging that I always use is the most efficient type of staging that you can get in Kerbal Space Program. The rest of it's just down to doing it by eye and proper piloting, sort of. You don't go for the lead finger, as it were, you know, hard down on the shift key all the way, because that just wastes fuel. I mean, usually you don't want to be going above 200 meters per second under 10 kilometers. Now I'm just adding a bunch of reaction wheels to the spacecraft, because we were getting some abnormal pitching and yawing, but I think that should have cured our previous failures, so we've kind of learned from that. Shame way to lose those Kerbals though. I mean, I would have reverted the flight under normal circumstances, but I guess that would just seem like cheating. But anyway, I just save that, and I think what we need to do now is go ahead and find our very own asteroid to collect. And there is our rocket in all its glory. Save once more, and go off to the tracking station. The joys of Kerbal Space Program indeed. Waiting for different scenes to load at painfully slow intervals. And here we are. We haven't been in here for quite a while, and well, it's always good to revisit old places and old friends. I think. Ooh, let's check on the progress of our old space tug. How's it going? Out of the sun. Okay, so it's gonna be back in orbit. Tuna landing, and you can see now how far we actually had to go. And this is where it's either Bill or Bob. I can't remember. I think it'll be Bill, because wow, Christ, I'm not sure how my moon lander got all the way out into the sun's orbit. Anyway, we need to focus on are these question marks here. So you can see that these unknown objects are in essence asteroids, and there's a bunch more over there. There's a crap ton over there. So they're labelled in classes, so I think A being the smallest, etc. So these here are quite tiny, apart from that one. So I presume that Kerbin's gravity has influenced the smaller ones into its own sphere of influence. But these big ones here, see, E is huge. I guess we could always go for one of those. We could tracked objects. Okay, untracked, signal strength is quite good. Last seen 13 days, 4 hours ago. Class E objects are proper behemoths, no less than 18 meters in rate. Wow, they don't just look heavy, they are in fact far more massive than it would seem. So, if we click the blue button down here, we can track objects. So, asteroid PCY 900. And unfortunately, it doesn't have a Kerbin encounter. But not to worry, we can always track that for future reference. And we can start tracking this. And you can see that the line has stopped, and it is indeed going to hit Kerbin. So if we stop tracking this, KTX 478, once again a Class E asteroid, is in 231 days, 2 hours 18 minutes. It's going to have a Kerbin periapsis of 46 million. Quite far away indeed. So that should be very interesting. But yeah, I think this video has gone on long enough. I think it's almost good to leave it some ends untangled. So please do join me next time when we shall attempt to revise our design for the Trotsky V250 and attempt to get into orbit and kind of redirect this thing. So please do like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time on Kerbal Space Program.